Now y'all know it's Monday night. This is Spirit coming to you live to give you knowledge and wisdom. We that you will know who you are. You are the first, the last, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning. And with that being said, I played this beautiful tune for a reason, and I'll get into that a little later. We're going to let that go ahead and play in the background to it play out. So, again, this is Spirit Let's Talk Podcast brought to you on Monday evenings. We have not been on in a while. Since the last time I've seen you, I've turned 59 years old. Yes, 59. And I am here to tell you I've had an experience. I actually just got back from Puerto Rico. And, they tell us that Puerto Rico is a part of the United States and blah, 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 blah. Well, amongst going to Puerto Rico, I went to do some things and it said you are not a part of the U.S. So we'll get into that another time. But I did enjoy Puerto Rico for 5 beautiful days and 4 nights. Learned a lot of things. Actually went into a castle that was live. Well, not live, but the castle, and they had the cannons in there, and we was able to see where the soldiers were, how they lived. It was so beautiful just going around and receiving knowledge around the world. So that's the most important thing, is that we have to learn how to step outside our boundaries so that we can learn things instead of accepting what people tell us. So, it was a beautiful thing just learning about how Portuguese and things like that came into play. And like I said, it was beautiful walking down the marble roads and meeting the people. A lot of people spoke Spanish. The majority of them, 90%, spoke Spanish, but we were able to maneuver through and learn things from the culture. Yes, Puerto Rico. Food was about the same as in America. I did go out and shake my little fancy, same as here. But like I always say, we have to step outside of ourselves to learn things, because we are being told things, and then once we go into these different spaces, we learn that they're not what they are. Okay, so I do want to take a minute and go ahead and light my incense. And I just want everybody to take a minute, give me about 5 to 10 seconds while I like this. And then I want everyone to, I want y'all to lift up a very, very, very close friend of mine who has lost someone. And I want you guys to just take a second. I'm lighting my sage. Okay, so it is almost lit. I really need a big cigarette lighter because it takes forever with this little one. Then it get hot. I gotta wait on it to cool down. But I do want to take a second to say to B4I, those that know him, take a second and let's lift him up. So we ask the Most High God to lift up B, give him the strength that he needs to be the head and the tail of his family, to be the beginning and the end. When we are strong people, it is very hard when something happens because everybody think you're okay. We're not. We need that same thing when people are weak. So during my vacation, I found out that he lost somebody very, very close to him. And, I reached out and I just wanted to take this time with everybody on Let's Talk Podcast and lift him up and give him the strength. Then I also want to shout out my girl T Baby, who has found out that she has cancer. Oh my God, she is so strong, staying lifted. And again, the community has lifted her up because she's always been there for the community. So let's go ahead and shout out to East St. Louis. Oh, we That's for T Baby. Yes, yes, yes. I love me some T Baby. T Baby grabbed me, took me under her wing when I was doing promotion and had my little entertainment company. Her and Fireboy Records. Oh my God, the House of Ooh Wee was right there for me. Made sure I was good every time I stepped out. So with that being said, as you guys can see, I am here tonight by myself. Yes, I am by myself. You know, I was born by myself, and sometimes we got to do gestures by ourselves. But we're going to lift up the two that normally are on the podcast. Let's lift them up, keep them covered also, and make sure that their day is just as grand as my day. So with that being said, I was playing Michael Jackson when it first started. And I actually went to the movies the other day and sat there and watched it by myself. When I say you have to learn who people are and not listen, when I sat in that movie for the first 20 minutes of the movies, I got the chills. Now, only time I get the chills is when it's pertaining to the Most High God. Michael Jackson was definitely chosen. He was definitely chosen. And if you notice, those that are chosen, they always messing with them, bothering them, and things like that. I'm not going to tell the movie. I'm just going to say, if you haven't seen it, please take time and go see it. Even if you have to go by yourself, even if you got to wait till it come on the TV, that's fine. It's okay. But check that movie out. Then the other day, I was watching another movie. I love cartoons, I love kid movies, and I was watching this particular movie called Hopper. Okay? So I'm laying there and I tried to watch it early in the day, and my day was just all over the place. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait till the kids go to bed, and I watched it. I told you guys this about 12 years ago. Even I, quote unquote, I'm not saying it's set in stone. This is for entertainment purposes only. But what I am going to say is they can transfer your consciousness into something else. I'm going to leave it at that. If you haven't watched Hoppers, oh my God, it's a movie that you need to watch. Then I also watch Rampage with I forgot his name, but it was about the monkey. So they were showing where they put these diseases in people, and they had vaccine, and they started with the animals, and the animals end up growing into big things. So they took this into outer space, which we know no outer space is water, but we're not going to get into that either. But again, another great movie to watch. So, yes, I'm always giving myself knowledge and wisdom because that's what we're here for. Every day you should learn something new. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, you still should learn something new every day. Okay? The food, let's go back to Puerto Rico. The fruit, even though it's America, tastes different than American fruit. It tastes like when I went to Jamaica. It tastes like when I went to Mexico. The watermelon actually had seeds in it. So I was like, oh my God, I love it. When I say the pineapple was so juicy and it tastes so different. But again, this is why we tell you guys to step outside your boundaries. So, one of my big things that I'm going to do, I will be 60 next year in April. I want to take a big trip, right? But can I do these 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours? I don't know. But I have conquered most of my fears. So if that's a fear, then I'm going to do that too. Being a chosen one, people are always either messing with you, abandoning you, or just don't want to be bothered. Most chosen people are loners. So if you see somebody that's a loner, like Michael Jackson, who was a loner, he's chosen. Think about all the people who are loners. because those are the chosen ones. Now, as long as you out here partying and hanging out and doing all the worldly things, you got all the people in the world. But then once you decide to walk that path, it's only you at that point. But it's okay because you're not by yourself. Okay. So, oh, I don't have my bracelet on. Bought me a copper bracelet. I thought about something that I can talk to you guys about. So, we always talking about we copper people. We always talking about this and talking about that. We black, this and that, this and that. Everybody think. I want everybody to stop what you're doing and think. When your child was born, when your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, when they were born, what color was on the bottom of their butt? I'll give you a minute. Oh, did somebody say green? Yes. You know why? There's that unlearn to relearn to learn. They were green because that's who we are. Think about the vitamin D from the sun. Think about the other things. That's where the copper come in. Now, I'm not going to get into it too deep tonight. I'm just really here to throw a little something out and then I'll be gone. So I'm not here to really get into anything deep, but it can be a podcast for a later time. But yes, think about it. When your baby was born, or your brother, your sister, your niece, your nephew, and you looked at the bottom of their butt and you like, why is their butt green? But did you ever think that you were originally green? Put on a copper bracelet. Put on a copper necklace. And it will turn your body green. I'll get into that later, why it turns the body green. We always go back to our original form. I don't care who you are. We always go back to our original form. So that's something that you have to remember, and that's something that you have to know. Okay? So make sure that you're getting your vitamin D. Make sure you're going outside, you're getting your vitamin D. Make sure you're putting your feet in the grass. Yes, we say this over and over and over. Why? Because when you get sick, these are the things that you should do. And oh my goodness, if I had a digital camera, not my phone, I would have taken a picture of every tree in Puerto Rico. Every single tree was shaped in a different form. That was just so amazing. I would stand there and I would look. We were walking. We did a lot of walking. They walked me on this trip. We went to the beach. But on this trip, I seen trees that were formed so different. Some of them looked like they were burnt. Some of them had, oh my God, I just really cannot explain it. And if I go back to Puerto Rico, I will take pictures of trees because they are all different. They're not like our trees. Our trees are straight up and down. Maybe the roots are different. Maybe the trunks are different. No, every tree, some trees were swivel. Some trees it looked like they were coming in together. I mean, it was just so amazing. Please, you do not need a passport to go to Puerto Rico. Please take your family to Puerto Rico. It is something so amazing, even though it's part of the United States. Had a great time. So I really, again, don't have a lot to talk about, but remember, you are the Alpha and you are the Omega. You have to love yourself. And in order to love yourself, you have to know yourself. Not what you've been told, but what is inside of you. We all have it inside of us. You need to reach into yourself and pull it out. Earlier this week I was talking to someone on the phone. I said, oh, I got to get my notes ready for Monday. And I said, I kept trying to get them together for 2 days straight. And I ended up just saying, you know what, Spirit, just let it flow. Just let it flow. Let it take wherever it needs to take. Let the Most High God take you wherever you need to go for this Monday podcast. Because at first I wasn't going to do it, but then I'm like, no, go ahead and step into what needs to be stepped into. Okay? So before I go, I want to tell y'all this experience I had today. And it just made me really want to conversate with you guys about something deeper, about space. So I'm laying here and I'm relaxing, getting ready for my podcast. I always relax before my podcast, always. And all of a sudden I heard this woo woo woo. It wasn't a plane, it wasn't a jet. I don't know what it was. Next thing you know, my granddaughter come running in the room. She's like, Granny, did you hear that? And I'm like, yeah. Then here come my grandson. And so my grandson, he was like, well, it sounded like a jet. I said, no, I didn't heard many jets. That don't sound like a jet, okay? Then me and my granddaughter's having a conversation, and she said, well, Granny, it wasn't a plane. I said, no. I said it was too heavy to be a plane. It wasn't the right sound to be a jet. Now, after this situation happened, I'm laying here because I got my blinds open and I'm looking out the window. And as I'm looking out the window, I'm noticing that the birds are flying, but they're only going to a certain point and then it cut off. So I'm like, is there a barrier there? I said, okay, we'll get into that another time. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention. You're looking in the sky for unidentified things, but pay attention to the waters. Pay attention to the waters. The veil has been released. We are no longer in the third dimension. So whatever you thought was not in 1987, it is so in 2026. We're not calling people crazy anymore because things are being revealed to us. And we're seeing it with our own eyes. If you see somebody walking on water, you're not crazy. The veil has been released. Let's manifest. Let's manifest the things that we want. And we're going to teach you on the next podcast how to manifest the things that you want by your chakras. We're going to take a music group and break it down so that you can manifest and align the things that you want. You have not because you ask not. But you don't just ask, you have to put forth some effort. If you want to start a book, start writing down the name of the book. It don't matter if you don't write that book till next year. You start it. But guess what? If you write the name of the book, eventually it's not going to be a year. You're going to start writing the book. Even if you don't do nothing but write the characters. You want to start that football team? Write it down. You think it, you write it, and you plan, and then you implement it. And it shall be so. How do you think all these billionaires are out here? How do you think all these millionaires are out here? Because they sat there and said, oh, I want a football team, and they just sat there. No. They put forth some effort. You want to make laundry detergent? Buy the ingredients. Guess what? I have been starting a garden for 8 years. Every time we get it going, something always seems to happen. Guess what? I did yesterday. I replanted every single thing and we started over. Because, again, I don't have a green thumb, but I refuse to give up. You heard Michael Jackson. You have the power. You have the power to do whatever you want to do. If you decide you don't want to work no more, you get that job to help you to do whatever you need to do. There is no such thing We are in 2026. Well, we're really not in 2026, but by this time we're in 2026. Did you guys notice that this year went super duper fast? We're like in June already. The school year was super super fast. The veil has been lifted. So whatever you want, it will be. It will be revealed. If that man ain't for you, it will be revealed. If that woman is not for you, it will be revealed. If that job is not for you, it will be revealed. But what do I always tell y'all? You have to love yourself first. Because when you love yourself first, guess what? You put you first. And when you put you first, you can start putting your plan in action. When you put other things first, guess what? You can't even focus on what you're trying to do or even what you want to do. So focus on you. To me, my health is the most important thing. You know why? Because if I'm not healthy, I cannot be here for my kids, my grandkids, my in laws, my sisters, my brothers. They don't want to be pushing me around no wheelchair. When I say I walked in Puerto Rico, I walk. I don't walk here, but I walked. And guess what? I was great. I was great. Change that food. You don't have to eat McDonald's every day. Get you some fruits and vegetables. Cook them, saute them. You can do 2-3 days without some meat. Them same vegetables, baby, you can turn it to a meal. Believe you me. That's what I eat. I haven't ate meat in a minute now. I just made me a salad today. I made me a kale salad. I cut up some orange peppers. I had green pumpkin seeds. I had pecans. I had everything on it with some little pita chips. But that don't mean that I ain't had that oatmeal pie. You have to balance things out. You have to do what's good for you. If you're tired of being a diabetic, change how you eat. If you're tired of having high blood pressure, change how you eat. Change what you do. Maybe if you don't do nothing but walk to the mailbox every single day, you getting started. You started your walk. That's all that matters. You got to start somewhere. If you don't do nothing but walk to the curb every day, you started somewhere. Eventually, you're going to get tired of walking to the curb and you're going to walk a little further and walk a little further and walk a little further. And next thing you know, you're walking miles. See, we always want to judge people, but we don't look at our own self and our own lives. Who are we to judge? Oh, she fat. You don't know her circumstances. You don't know if she just sitting there eating or if she got not on nobody else. Focus on yourself. And when you start focus on yourself, God will send the people that you need in your life. So that's about all that I have for you tonight. Again, next week, I do want to talk about how we can start manifesting the things that we want. Let's start them grocery stores. Let's start our own products. Let's start writing our books. Let's get our kids starting their own business. Make sure your kids got bank accounts. Make sure your kids pay attention to their surroundings. If you pay attention and you're on these social media sites, you see how many of us are coming up missing at young ages. Everywhere you turn, every state, every city, our young people are coming up missing. And then they're saying that you're eating them by buying McDonald's. Yeah, we got to do better. We got to get back to the old school where neighbors was watching their kids and kids paid attention to what the neighbors told us. We got to get back on that. You don't tell my kids what to do. But guess what? That saved a lot of our kids back in the day. It saved a lot of our kids. Know your neighbors. When you know your neighbors, you know something is wrong. You know when them kids feel like they're bullied. You know when that wife next door is being abused. And only thing we got to do is, hi, how you doing? Is it all right if I cut your grass? Oh, let's go for a walk. We got to start getting to know each other. Too many of us are coming up missing. And it's not just the young people, it's the older people too, but mainly the young people. Get somebody in your neighborhood and get to know them. It's sad. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of those, and they showing all these kids coming up missing. Go with somebody when somebody has a job interview. That's part of the problem. They going to these job interviews and they're not coming home. Back in the day, we had a buddy system, and that's what we need to get back on. We need to get back on a buddy system. Well, it's all to love yourself first, and when you love yourself first, you're able to help you first. Don't be a stranger. Make sure, let's start a buddy system. Let's start a buddy system. I have a buddy system. And it's with the kids and their parents. I just started one day and I said, you know what? My grandson got these kids. Let's go to the movies. Let's go skating. Let's hang out. Then we had an adult night. You never know when somebody is feeling lonely or they feel like they don't belong in that space. Let's reach out. Let's lift each other up. And with that being said, B, Forride, we want to lift you up, keep you in our prayers, and may the Most High God lift you to have all the strength in the world to go through what you're about to go through. And same thing for you, T baby. We want to lift you up. To the house of Ooh-Wee, peace, love, and light. We love you.